Hello and welcome. I wanted to get on and share this because I think it goes very much to the space that's being created here, and for some of you it may be familiar and for others maybe not. Maybe what we do is a little bit different. But I felt it really important for at least the last decade in working with a lot of people. What my intention has been is to create a space, is a place where people could come to and start to explore their unknowns, to bring attention to what they've not looked at previously, and to provide a just that little bit extra bit of attention upon themselves. And as I've been in this space, so the one thing that I've never wanted to be is someone's example. And I believe that whole nature of, a teaching or a teacher of some sort creates a level of dependency. And part of quantum movement is we're not here to create followers. We're not here to create a community. We're about teaching people how to commune with themselves so that they don't need or require anything from us, that they can start to live their life independently without following some level of subscribed hierarchy or rules of what is going to allow me to achieve truth or enlightenment in my own life. So I want to make it very clear, because I've been getting a number of different messages about how I should be, what I'm putting across and what it brings up in people. And to be honest, I love that. I love that it brings up things in people that makes them uncomfortable, because I think we don't spend enough time in that particular space. We are so focused at times in a spiritual journey to achieve some sort of connection to an ethereal state of living, which is in contrast to our own truth. We spend very little time in actually exploring our own disconnection and disintegration. For many of us, we're looking for someone else to show us the way. I want to make it very clear that I am definitely, and don't intend or pretend or promise to be, anyone's example. The very nature of this is your greatest example is standing in front of you. It's in the mirror every single day. This is about you meeting yourself, not meeting anyone else's expectations or having conversations of celebration and commonality of, I've now achieved this or I've now recognized this. It's about those things for our own self to be understood. It's been interesting for me over time that I've been told that I need to be more soft, that I need to be more vulnerable. But I think it's important to realize that our own vulnerabilities, our own challenges and weaknesses that we go through are very different in our own lives. I'm by no means perfect and have never pretended to be. I understand that there's a perfection that exists around me, and I'm learning to understand that. For me, it's always interesting that I'm asked to be more vulnerable. My greatest vulnerability is standing here in this particular space and exposing myself in such a way that what I share to be true. Sometimes it might come across as direct, sometimes it might come across as powerful, maybe even intimidating, but this is my most vulnerable space, and this is what I continue to keep embracing, and why I feel it's so important to continue to create a space that challenges, not for the intention of challenging you, but challenges me. And that is the example that I intend to provide. I don't want people to do things my way. I've learnt from something that's come through me to share particular practices that seem to work without interruption for a lot of people in consistent ways. And I would suggest and say that that's probably the most challenging thing that I've had to come to reconcile in my life, to be able to provide a level of liberation for other people, to not learn to take that responsibility on. I think a great part of what we're challenged by in our own lives is when we start to try to emulate or look and compare to someone else of what we don't have in regards to what they do have. When we completely move over the very simplicity and elegance of what we are and our own difference. Our greatest inspirations. I was speaking and doing an interview today, and the gentleman at the other end, who was quite prominent, was interviewed, and he asked who most inspires him. And his answer was himself. And through the media, he got dragged through that as a level of arrogance. Imagine if it was commonplace for you, for every single person, to talk about the thing that most inspires you is you. Imagine if that was just the way that we were. Imagine if that was the common acceptance of entirety of our life? How much are you looking for an example in others, and the way in which we project onto other people of sports people, of celebrities, and all of these synthetic realities out there, that what they have to be in order for me to feel comfortable, in order for me to feel more at ease with myself? We're never going to get at ease with ourselves if we don't create the time and the space for us to just sit without any purpose, without any reason, with no need to connect to anything, but to become present to our own conversations and relationship with ourselves. The most liberating, the most honouring, the most loving thing we can do is to sit and have a relationship with ourselves without trying to achieve some higher level of enlightenment, some pinnacle. For many of us, when we get to this heightened state and we think we've made it, we become trapped by it. It's the way I've got to be, the way I've got to dress, the way I've got to talk, and we don't do things that way. I eat this way. All of these particular rules that we get into when we suddenly find our own freedom. The irony of freedom is the ability to be able to let go of it. So what I'm suggesting in this particular space is what quantum movement is all about. What we are putting forward, so it's not mistaken, is the holding of a space. Not the providing of directions, not the providing of a right and wrong, but an opportunity for you to explore yourself so you can embrace your difference. So you can go well beyond my applications and what I teach, and it's what I love about what I've been so fortunate to come across, is when I see people go so far beyond my own applications. I'm definitely not the example of this work. I may be a great teacher of it, I may be a great believer in it. But the real truth is that I don't hold a space for mediocrity. I don't hold a space for doubt. I don't hold a space for fear, but I hold a space that allows everyone to explore them so they can go beyond and find what the truth of those things are in their life, rather than labeling them and feeling comfortable that I am fearful, that I am weak, that I am emotional, or this is just the way that I was, it's the way I was brought up, this is in my genetic code. Those types of illusions are ready to be let go of, as all of these things are in our own life, when we stop buying into experts around us, but we start to recognize we are the one that makes decisions in our life. We are the one that creates our life. But to be humble enough to recognize at this point I may just not understand it. Gain understanding. I hope that this message is clear, and I'm really just wanted to say as well, I'm loving a lot of the courage that is coming through and the people that are sharing, and we're going to be opening up this space more as we continue to move through. Something that is going to be what I would encourage everyone to be a part of besides Immediate Zen is something called Quantum 8s. And that's starting this week, and you'll see some people sharing into that in the next coming days. But all of this is an offer and an opportunity. It's up to you whether you want to consent to it, it's whether you want to explore that. But please don't look to me as your example. Please don't look to me as what I should be doing that allows you to feel comfortable in yourself. It's not my responsibility to teach you. It's your responsibility to trust that I can. It's your choice. With much love, I hope that particular message is clear, but in saying so, if there's any questions that anyone has, anything they want to understand more, anything they want to scrutinize, by all means, bring it forward. This is what life's about, is challenging that particular space of comfort, of knowing, to get into a place of action and expression and understanding. In your authentic selves, I look forward to sharing more with you. And until we meet again on the inside, enjoy you.